Hey YouTube, so ECOBEE has sent me out this new smart thermostat, and I'm going to be doing a review and how to set it up in this video. What I had was my old thermostat, which was only working off 2-wire system. It had the R and the W, and that was it, no common wire. So I'm going to show you exactly how to hook up this new thermostat to an old thermostat with a 2-wire setup. And this will work for any of the ECOBEEs. This just happens to be the ECOBEE Lite. Alright, so my heater only has 2 wires. I don't have an AC in my house. It's just a 2-wire hookup to the thermostat upstairs. I'm in the basement, and I want to show you because I have an ECOBEE thermostat that I got in the mail, and you need 3 wires. The third wire that I don't have is the C wire, which is common, and that pretty much goes to a 24-volt power source into your furnace. So we're going to take this panel off, and I'm going to find exactly where to hook that up on for power. Alright, once I got this bottom panel out, you can see my thermostat wire goes in here, and there where you got the WYRGC. Again, I don't have any air conditioning, so it's only 2 wires, and you can see the common is right here, so you're going to plug the extra wire there. Alright, I got the bottom lid out, and you can see where you want to hook up your wire for power is right down here, this little device here, and you can see on it, on one side it says common white right here at the top, and at the bottom there's an arrow for here, and you can see at the top it says white common. So the bottom wire is the one I want. This one right here, it's a gray wire right here at the bottom. There's a little arrow pointing down. It says 24V. And don't take my word for it, but go on to the support website on ECOBEE, and they'll tell you that's exactly where you need to put it. Okay, you can see that right on their website. So I'm not just saying this out of thin air. This is off the website. And it says common white at the top, do not connect here, connect here at the bottom, 24-volt common wire. And this is for the 1-wire hookup. I have different options. I'm choosing to run a new wire instead of buying the other transformers. There's like four other options to do, but that's, to me, it's the easiest thing. I mean, literally the wire is right here going up into the room above, so it's really easy to run. I'm going to run 2 more wires going from there into here, just in case I want to add air conditioning later on in the future. But yeah, so this one at the bottom is where you hook it up on. So you could either use a splice into this wire with one of those crimper things, or take it off and splice into a new connector at the end and plug it in. But you want this one, not the top one. Alright, so if you don't have any of these connectors, you can get these at pretty much any hardware store. But if you don't have any on hand, just run the wire in there like that, a 1/4 of an inch in there in the hole, and then when you close it in there, it'll be nice and tight. And then this is what you can do until you can buy some or whatever. Right now I'm just going to do it because I don't have any. I have some in the garage. I don't feel like going out there. And you can see it's quite tight once you get it in there, and that'll be just fine. You could also see where this wire goes. It goes in here. You can shove the wire also in here. It's pretty tight in there as well. And that's your common wire. That's all you got to do. It's a 2-wire thermostat wire. I'm using 18 gauge by 2. Also, something off topic, has nothing really to do with the wire here, but when I took this cover off, a spring popped out at me, and it was this little switch that goes in here, and that switch lets you know if the thing is open, if the cover's open. So I think this one's no good because it's, this popped out with a spring, and a couple of metal clips came out with it. So keep that in mind when you take this cover off. If your switch is bad and you put it back on not knowing there's a switch here, and your heater doesn't work, Might be a bad switch here. If it goes bad, you could just probably, I don't know if those wires are supposed to be together or not. I'll know when I hook this back up. But if it's supposed to be together, just, you know, tie the wires together, and then you'll have it working. But I'd recommend getting a new switch, because this is not supposed to run with that cover off. So, all right, just a quick tip on that. So, and this switch was probably already broken, because when I opened this up, all this internal stuff popped out, and look what was on the floor next to it, a little wire, a little jump wire. And I'm guessing they just had this pushed in there on the wires and then kind of shoved in there like that, and when I opened it, everything kind of popped out. And they probably had this in there like that with a little jumper, but that jumper's kind of Mickey Mouse, you know. I don't know how well that would stay on there. If it came loose, then your heater won't work. So yeah, I'll have to get a new switch. I got the part number, and I'll take care of that. Alright, just tested this heater, and yeah, if this switch is not connected, it won't work. I put the cover on, and with this disconnected in there, because the switch is broken, it won't work. So what you do is you just loop a wire in there, like I did right here, going inside one terminal and one side of the other one, connecting it by, you know, bypassing the switch. I'll order a switch online. I got the part number there. It's an AE8320ARU, and for now I'll just shove this back in there until I get a new one, and that'll be just a quick fix so I can run the heater because it's cold. And yeah, got my red wire hooked up. I'm gonna go upstairs and hook that red wire to existing wire up there and see if I can get this thing working with the ECOBEE. Alright guys, finally this makes some sense to me. Okay, so what I was doing was I was hooking it up with a one wire, extra wire to my two wire setup because I didn't have the common wire. But according to this instructions on their website, ECOBEE's website, if you don't have the C common wire is when you run your power to the 24 volts. So when you have RC and W. Because it says the connections that are needed at the furnace or boiler for this option for one wire add-on is RC and W. Below is an example of the wiring. Okay, and then it says the C, R, and W from the furnace. I actually do have a C, and what I was doing is thinking I didn't have the C, the common one, which I do have the common terminal. So what I was doing was I was running that red wire to the 24 volt vac transformer in my furnace, which that will work too. So either way, but since I have this plate off and I got the C common wire, I'm just going to go and simply fix it, pull this red wire out right here from the 24 volt and just shove it back up into this where it says C. See, I got Y, W, R, G, and C. Okay, so the C one is where I'm just going to plug that wire into, and then I'll be in business according to the instructions. And I won't even need the adapter, the PEK adapter is what they call it, PEK, power extender kit. You won't need that according to these instructions. So I'm going to do that instead. But yeah, for any of you guys that have a furnace and you don't have that C on there, you could just plug it into where I did down here, which is the 24 volt. But since I got the C, I'll just go ahead and pull this one out, take that wire out, and just plug it into the C terminal up here with the screwdriver. I'm gonna get that done. Alright, now the red wire is hooked up to the C common. So now I got Y, R, and C, 3 wires. So again, I'm sorry I got confused on the instructions. I thought because I didn't have the C wire up by my thermostat that I didn't have a C wire down in the furnace, and that's not the case. I did have the C wire down there, and if you read the instructions, it tells you if you find your system does not have the C common terminal at your furnace, you will need to identify where the common can be connected to, and that's, in that case, you would put it to that 24-vac transformer located in your furnace, which I started to do thinking that's the way I was supposed to do it. So anyways, and then it talks about how you do it, and that's the picture I had. So that's pretty much it on that. Once you get that wire going, it's you can go back to the instructions and get this thing installed. As you can see, I just have it running a heater, no AC. It's got a 2-wire connection, W and RH, which I think RH and RC are the same thing, with a little bypass pin that's in there. But anyways, it's only 2-wire setup according to the manual here. You got to do some extra steps to get this working. If it's a 2-wire, you got to add a C wire. So what I did was I ran that C wire, which I'll show you in a minute, running the C wire from the furnace. So originally I didn't have the C wire, and when you don't have the C wire, it tells you to install the power extender kit, which is the PEC kit, which comes with your thermostat, which is this thing right here. So, but now because I ran the wire instead to the C wire, I can bypass using that and just go directly to install your ECOBEE with a C wire. So that eliminates using this device because I already ran the wire, so I don't need that. For some reason though, when you just have 2 wires, they don't want you to use the power extender for whatever reason, because you don't have the common wire. And if you're going to run the common wire, then there's no point to use that adapter. So just a note out there, because it's kind of confusing what that thing's even for. I guess that's just for people that have everything except for the common wire, and they don't want to run a new wire. That keeps them from running a new wire, and I guess that's the hassle in these homes, running wire. So, and here's the reason why people get confused when they have a 2-wire setup, because you get up to the point in step 2 for the PEC connector, and when it comes over to 2 wires and it says, do you have these wires? Actually it asks for 3 or 4 wires, and it says, do you have these wires? Well, no, you only have 2 wires. So you go to the no section, and it shows a RH and a G. In my case, it's a RH and a W for the heat. And it says, no, give us a call. Looks like you have 1 or more wires missing. So that's when you get confused and go, oh, great, I got something missing. You go on their website, and then it tells you the options that you can get a transformer to run the power to, like a plug-in outlet, or you could just run the wire like I did. So that's where you get confused at, is right there. But it's really not a big deal just to run a wire or get a transformer to plug in the wall. Alright, there's the new wires that I ran from the basement, and I'm just using the red one for now, which is the common. And they give you these little stickers to put on there, so I'm just going to use C for the common one on there, which is right here, so I know what's what. Back to this adapter thing. This thing is really confusing my brain, because I'm thinking, why do you have to run a C wire when you only have a 2-wire setup, if that's the whole point of this, is to give you power from your furnace. So I'm kind of confused on that, because I do have R, G, Y, and W at my furnace, so it's confusing. But then again, if you only have R and W working, the G and the Y, I don't know if that plays a role of what's coming through to your thermostat, because then again, it's just going into this box, and then I guess if it was trying to transfer information, I have to do it through the R and W, or W, R and W. I don't know. I don't know how this system's working inside the internal parts. But I'm curious. I'm almost tempted to hook this up at my furnace, disconnect that red wire from the common, or not the red wire. Yeah, the red wire from the common, or not hook it up to here. Leave this red wire disconnected, and try to hook it up without that, just for anyone else that's trying to do this, and for my own peace of mind, and just hook up the W and the R to this thing in the thermostat and see if it works, because it doesn't make sense to me why you need the common if that's the whole point of this thing, is to give it power from your furnace. But then again, unless it's like the G or the Y is what's supplying power up to your thermostat, then that would make sense, but I'm not 100% sure because it doesn't tell you what the wires go to. It just says, you know, if you have two wires, it won't work. So it's quite confusing, but maybe, just maybe, I'll go and play around with this another day and see if this works with just two wires, without the C wire connected over here, because I have another room upstairs that doesn't have the C wire either, and it's only got the two wires set up as well, and that'd be nice not to have to fish a wire way upstairs through the wall. That would save me some time. Alright, there it is installed. The R goes to the RC, not the RH. The W goes to the W1, not the W2. And the C goes to the C, which is the common. And that's pretty much it when you have a two-wire setup that you added the common. Pretty easy to install. Alright, next we're going to put the Eco thermostat in there. If there's a hole in there and it's real big, make sure you cover it with something, foam or something, because you don't want drafts messing with the thermostat temperature. It clicks. Now I'm going to go turn on the power to the furnace and see if this thing powers up. Alright, looks like it worked. Hi there, we will guide you through the setup process. And it's touch. We have detected a wire connected to the RC terminal, but not the RH terminal. Is this correct? Yes. We have detected wiring in the following terminals: RH, RC. It says RC, C, and W1. That's correct, yes. Do you prefer Fahrenheit? Yes. Name your ECOBEE. You can choose a name from the list or enter your own. Alright, so after reading on ECOBEE's support online, you can't run the PEC adapter that comes with the ECOBEE if you only have a two-wire setup, heater setup from your furnace boiler. You just can't do it because it needs a three-wire setup, it says, and you just can't do that with a two-wire. But you can, there is like 4 or 5 different options. One is run a new wire, which I did, but if you don't have, or if you can't run a wire, if it's too hard for you, you can get an external transformer, which is a plug-in outlet, you know, you can plug it in near the ECOBEE. If you don't have an outlet near your ECOBEE, then another option would be, that I like, would be option 4, fast stat common maker with RW contacts. Now this thing is about $40 something I've seen on Amazon, and this thing is actually takes that one wire, which is the white wire, and it plugs it into this little box, and then it goes into your furnace. So it's two adapters. So yeah, if you don't have a way to run the wire, or you don't have an outlet by your ECOBEE, the best option would say is this fast stat common maker. It just makes the common maker out of that one white wire, which is the aux wire from the back of your thermostat, your original thermostat. So you're going to take that white wire. The R wire is going to stay the same. It's going to plug directly into the RC on the ECOBEE, but you're going to use the white wire, and that's going to plug into the sender. And then the black, you're going to use an extra black wire from the common, from your thermostat, and put that into the sender. And then that has a purple wire coming out of it, and that purple wire is the one that plugs into the W wire. Okay, that comes out of the thermostat. So it's just kind of a bypass. It takes two wires in, and it goes from the two wires into one wire, and then that one wire goes into the fast stat by your that plugs in by your thermostat. I mean, sorry, by your furnace. This other common maker, and that just takes the W wire, plugs it into the purple wire into the fast stat, and that one comes out red, white, and black, and the red goes to the W of the furnace, which you already have, but you're going to disconnect the W from there and put it into this purple connection at the top of the fast stat. And so then the red wire goes into the W at the furnace, and the white wire from that fast stat common maker goes to the white wire on the furnace, and then the C common wire on the furnace goes to the black wire to the fast stat. So it takes 3 wires into this little fast stat common maker, and then it comes out that purple wire, which goes to the W wire to Alright, so overall guys, I like this ECOBEE thermostat because once you have it hooked up, you do have to have it hooked up to the Wi-Fi signal in your house if you want to remotely access it from your cell phone or iPad or something. And that's one of the features I like about it, is I can go on here, go to the store and download the app for free, open up the app, and you'll have the same screen just like that right here. And you can adjust this to whatever temperature. If I'm in Africa or Australia or some other country on vacation, I can simply go in here and adjust my thermostat if I need to, if I was not at home. And that's just a good feature to have. Okay, you can see if I change this down to 60, let's change it down to 54. Okay, you can see over here it automatically changed to 54 right there. Watch, I'll do it from my phone. Change it to 57. Take literally 2 seconds for it to respond. To me, that in itself, it's awesome. It tells you the humidity here, the temperature inside the house, if it's on or off. It'll turn white if it's off, blue if it's on. You hit the weather channel here. When you have this hooked up to Wi-Fi, it tells you the weather. So it says it's going to snow today. Okay. Tells you the temperature for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the next 4 days. Tells you, evening, overnight, morning, afternoon weather for the day, humidity. So this is pretty cool features. It has a sensor, and it actually senses when you walk up to it, and it kind of turns on. When it's on its standby mode or whatever, it's like it tells you the outside temperature and the inside temperature. I'll try to get a shot of that in a minute. So yeah, this is a pretty cool system. When you have it on scheduled, you can have it on schedule, so you don't even have to mess with that. It just automatically turns on. So like right now it's turning on because it's 64. It needs to be at 65. My schedule is for 65. I have it scheduled at 7 o'clock in the morning when the kids get up to school for it to turn on to about 67 degrees, and then it turns off at 8 o'clock when they're gone, and then it turns back on at 2 o'clock back up to 65, because we like it not too hot. When I have the heat on 2, like if I have it up to 70, it's way too hot in here, so I put about 65, and that'll turn back on around 2:30, 3 o'clock when the kids get home from school. And then at around 9 or 10 o'clock I have it scheduled to shut off completely down to 62 degrees for sleeping. And then that will continue on Monday through Friday, and on the weekend you can set it to however you want. I think I had it changed to 10 o'clock to go on from sleep mode to the 65 degrees. So that's another cool thing that you can do, and you can do it on your phone. You can schedule it on your phone. So that is something that this thermostat, if you look at the difference on the setup of this thing, it's just really sucks. I mean, who wants to go in here and try to push buttons to a stupid screen that you can't even see half the time? An LCD screen that doesn't even work. I'm sorry, it's not even LCD, it's like an analog screen. I don't know what those called, but anyways guys, it's definitely worth getting. In some places, like I have Ameren over here in Illinois, and they'll give you, I got this for free guys, they sent it to me, and a lot of places will send you a free one if you get on and you tell them you need one, and they actually got promotions where they send you one for free.